داشتیم.
Welcome back to Bugaloo Geographic. My name is Yassin and today we are starting the day in Iran in the Lat Desert. The last episode, if you haven't seen it, was an absolute banger. We had so much fun in the middle of a desert, but today it's time to go back out of the desert into the city Kerman. To get there, which will also be very interesting, we have to go through the snow mountains once again. And then the next stop, which is the goal of this episode, will be an ancient city. If you have seen the movie 300, you also might know or remember the bad guy, which is named Xerxes. We will go to him, to his old home, which is a palace in the middle of Iran, which is not just a palace, it's a whole city. And I'm quite excited going there, I can tell you that much, and I hope you are too. But first things first, let's get out of the desert. 3.5 hours on the street right now and I'm starting to get a little bit tired, so therefore I'm taking a short break before I get some food in this direction, because the 5 meters from here there's a restaurant where we will eat lunch before we head on. And by the way, I had a lot of options getting some street food along the way, but when we went from Turkmenistan into Iran, we met a guy who told me, or he recommended me, that I shouldn't eat street food along the highway because the quality of food is not as good as in the cities and the price difference is not as big. So go in the city, eat in a restaurant. I don't want to lay in bed because of bad food. So we will listen to his tip and get into this restaurant right there. It was a cozy little restaurant, and after a while a new story in my chapter on the journey opened up. Because the owner didn't speak English, but he had a lot of friends who spoke English, therefore he was calling them one by one. 30 minutes later we were a group of people enjoying lunch together. And it was such a great time that I asked them to sign on my rims. So I would always have a little memory of them or of this special moment on my truck on my journey. Can you say your name again?
Shahab. Ali.
Ali, Shahab, Yassin. Nice to meet you guys.
آلمان دوستمون. آلمان. اومده سیرجون، هواشو داشتیم. کافه شهوندونی.
پرچم آلمان بالاست.
شما بعدش کن. باشو.
اکسن رو باقراقش.
Gotcha, thank you.
You want to take a pic?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, excellent.
We had a great vibe together, and as you have seen, it was a little but very special moment. And off we go. Even though the sun is already setting, we want to cover as many kilometers as possible today, so that we have time tomorrow to explore Shiraz before heading to Persepolis. But it's already getting late and I'm getting a little bit tired, so we are searching for a safe spot for the night, preferably one that's hidden from the road. Otherwise, as you know, there's a good chance the police will wake us up, potentially ask us to move. But I'm pretty confident that this place looks good for one night. See you tomorrow. Good morning and moin moin, as we say in Deutschland. The night was peaceful and a beautiful day awaits us in Iran. Blue skies and plenty of sunshine. Keep in mind it's winter, but it's very mild with 15 degrees Celsius. First on our agenda today, refueling. Not exactly an easy task in Iran, but I'm confident that we'll find someone to help out. As I explained in my last videos, you need a diesel card to fuel up. Either the gas station has its own diesel card, or we'll have to ask the truck drivers once again if they can lend us theirs. And unfortunately at this fuel station the owner asked for a way too high price. Therefore we are going to the next one. That's always a little bit of hassle, but there's no other way around it. I think there's an option that you can get a diesel card as a foreigner, but I'm not sure about that. And at this fuel station I was searching the owner, and after I found him he said I can fuel up 20 liters. It's not a lot, but we'll take it and drive to the next one. And once again, the fuel station owner didn't have a fuel card, but he told me just ask the truck drivers around and we make it happen. So we did. And the first one immediately said, no worries, take as much as you need. And so we did. And of course we filled up our tank with 50 holy liters of diesel. And when I went up to the truck driver to say thank you and pay, he just said, no, don't worry about it, you are a guest in my country. I mean, that's unbelievable. I just got 50 liters of diesel as a gift. I mean, that would almost be 100 euros in Germany. The Iranian hospitality is just on another level. But after driving over 600 kilometers in 8 hours, I'm not really in the mood for the hustle and bustle of a big city. But luckily, there's a perfect solution to that. Shiraz is famous for its beautiful gardens, offering the perfect escape from the noise and chaos. And this is where I want to go next. We made it to the garden. It's like a very big park, very nice maintained, like a lot of different trees. The sun is shining, which is also very beautiful. And look at that. I think that's the main attraction right here. You have to pay 2.5 million real to get in here. Expensive for a park, at least for someone coming from Germany. Usually all the parks are free. Not every park, but most of the parks. But on the other side, I have to admit that this park is way much better preserved and maintained. Okay, we are back in the camper. We are skipping all the minor stuff like getting food and stuff like that. That's not priority as long as it's not dark. I think we will already go out of Shiraz. Even though I would love to like experience the city, but it's way too big, way too much cars. There's no place to stop for a short time and then explore some spaces. It's very hard to maneuver in the city with our big car, and therefore I think we will leave Shiraz and move on to Yazd. From Shiraz to Yazd, it's about 450 kilometers. But just after leaving Shiraz, we are about to pass something truly incredible. The over 2,500 years old palace of the Persian kings, Persepolis. It's only 50 kilometers from Shiraz, and I've planned to reach it today. At least, that was the plan. But if there's one thing I have learned on this journey, it's that plans rarely go as expected. And usually, if a plan does not work out as expected, something memorable will happen. At this point, I was only 10 minutes away from this UNESCO World Heritage Site, but suddenly, out of nowhere, something happened that skyrocketed my adrenaline levels. And yes, it was definitely one of these moments where everything starts to slow down and you realize this wasn't part of the plan. Plans for this evening? Gone. But this, as crazy as this sounds, is just one thing of those things you have to face when you're on the road. And it's these kinds of unexpected, heart-racing moments that make the journey so much more, well, memorable. And if you would like to see how this event turns out, please consider pressing on subscribe so you don't miss the next video. And thanks for watching. See you next time.